Hi guys, Billy back, and this time we're going to be doing my collection video for 2020. It's been a year since I made the last one. The last one I made at the beginning of July 2019. So I don't know, it hasn't changed that much, but there is some new stuff that I want to show you. Obviously we've got new stuff in the collection, and I've put a couple more shelves in random places just to try and get some more space, because I am readily running out of space like mad. First off, apologies for the sound. It might sound a bit echoey and weird, and that's simply because I'm using the gimbal to film, and I can't use my microphone with the gimbal because it blocks the port on my phone. So hopefully the sound will work okay. Apologies for the slight echoiness of it, but that is because I'm using the phone's microphone and not the actual mic I use for filming my review videos. Okay, with that in mind, let's actually get on and show you what I've done. Thank God I've got a new phone. This phone does like a sort of zoom out feature, so you can bring the picture back a little bit like this. So I can give you like a full sort of 360 turn of my whole collection all the way around, and it will fit a lot more in. It does distort at the edges, but it still works pretty cool. We can go around and have a look at what's been updated, and we can have a look more closely at everything as we go around the room. Now, I don't know what it's like for everybody else, but I've only got a small room, a little box room in the house for me to display all my stuff, and that is simply just the way it has to be. We don't have a lot of space, but I consider myself very lucky to be able to actually have a dedicated room for my collection. Not many people get that. Okay, first off, we're going to come up and have a look at the top shelf of my marble collection. I've got a small pair of steps here that I use now because I am a short ass and I can't actually get up top. So yeah, and yeah, I dusted this whole place down last week just in preparation for this video, but obviously there's been a week of, you know, dust forming in here anyway, and I'm using it as a work office, so unfortunately I'm in here a lot more than I usually am, and yeah, dust is starting to build up a little bit. So if you see any, apologies, but I did dust this last week in preparation, so there shouldn't be too much anyway. Okay, and up on the top shelf, it's sort of out of my eye line because I am, like I said, not a very tall guy, so a lot of the stuff up the top here is stuff that I don't want directly in my eye line. Things like the third-party crossbones, I don't mind that one, it's okay, but I really wish someone would actually make a really decent sort of third-party crossbones. This is a sort of stylized version of him, and it looks okay, but it's not really in keeping with the rest of the MCU characters from Hot Toys. And I have the Punisher here, the custom kit bash that I did. He's carrying all sorts of weapons from everywhere, from Terminator guns to, I think that's the War Machine Punisher head sculpt with all the clothing fitted on. This was one of the first ever kit bashes I ever did, and I really enjoyed putting all these bits together. It was so much fun doing that. But yeah, he's starting to show his age a little bit now in terms of style. But yeah, still a pretty nice figure. And of course we've got the Toys era Cable here, and he is a really great figure. And I know Hot Toys have just announced their own version of Cable, which looks brilliant. It really does look good. But is it £300 better than this one that I've already got? No, not for me. This one works really well for me. I don't see myself throwing £300 at another Cable in my collection. I don't need it. This guy is really, really good. He fits in perfectly with my Deadpool here. So I don't really see the need, but anyone who missed out on this, definitely just go with the Hot Toys one. You're going to get a better figure from the looks of it. I mean, the final piece may be shite when it finally comes out, but for the most part, Hot Toys are quite reliable. So you're probably going to get yourself an awesome figure. So if you can, get that one. But if you've got this already, I don't really see the need to upgrade unless you're like a die-hard Deadpool 2 fan who needs the most perfect representation of Cable that you could ever get, and then maybe upgrade to the Hot Toys Cable. But for me, this suits all of my purposes in the display. and I'm glad I picked him up actually, because yeah, he's going for money now. And then you got Deadpool here. This is the original suit, not the Deadpool 2 version. Again, I didn't see the need to upgrade to the Deadpool 2 version. This one is good enough for me, although there is pleather all over the place, so we'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, this was one of the first reviews I did on my channel, I think, for this guy. And at the time, he was beautiful. Deadpool 2 version actually came out and improved on everything, but I didn't feel the need to upgrade. Again, it's about money. I had a really great representation of Deadpool in my collection. I didn't see the point of upgrading. But yeah, I've got all the extras with him that he comes with. Now he's reading a Punisher comic book. This is the HC Toys Ghost Rider. It's a KO, and I did some mods on it, weathered the code, modified the body. I really like this figure now. Again, if you got the original Ghost Rider, why would you bother with this? It really isn't that great. But if you didn't get that, if you buy the HC Toys one and modify it, yeah, you could get yourself an okay figure out of it. But that's why he's on the top shelf, not in the middle of my Hot Toys MCU collection. Here is the Winter Soldier Black Widow. Still love this figure. I still love the Winter Soldier. It's one of my favourite MCU movies. And she looks great, although she has been improved with over time with other iterations by Hot Toys. And then we come in and we've got the Rescue Cap. And I really like this one. This one I don't see leaving my collection anytime soon. This is one of my favourites. And I don't have many Toy Fair exclusives, but this was one I hunted down and picked up after a long while of deliberating. Yeah, got it for a great price. And then of course we've got Stealth Suit Cap. And this guy, I've actually upgraded his body to the Infinity War body. And it works so well with this suit. I took the fat suit out and just put the Infinity War body on. It works really well. But I have seen people use the Man of Steel body, and that really pushes the envelope and really makes this figure whole, I think. It really makes it pop. But they're so hard to get now. So I picked up the Infinity War body on eBay, nice and cheap. And it worked really well. And he stands taller than some of the older Hot Toys Captain Americas. And he fits in better with the more modern ones. At the back here we've got concept art cap. That was a day one pre-order for me. Absolutely love the look of this. I had to have him in the collection as soon as I saw it. So further. Oh, we'll find out what that was in a minute. But yeah, this is one of my favourite Captain Americas now. Looks amazing. We got this third party Peggy Carter. I reviewed that. Still like this figure. It's definitely not Hot Toys quality, but it's still great. Very glad I picked her up. And this was a kit bash that I made of Black Widow, but unfortunately, yeah, it hasn't been finished yet. I've never managed to get around to finish her. I wasn't sure what I was going with this, and yeah, slowly but surely I've been adding to it, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll repurpose that body for another figure at some point and sell the rest off. But you know, I'm a sucker for goggles on the head, so I bought those goggles for her. And I'm not sure where I'm going with it, but some of the parts I absolutely love. Those are Painkiller Jane boots down the bottom here. Just there. And Painkiller Jane hand. And some extra stuff from all my other Black Widow figures. Something's come loose, I think, around the back there. So I have to check on it, but nothing too bad. And then, of course, we've got Peter Parker here. Now, Peter Parker, this is Hot Toys head sculpt, Hot Toys jacket and hoodie. I believe that's a Hot Toys book, Hot Toys face mask, and the rest is all third-party stuff, including the body. But yeah, it works really well, and I really like the fact he's got a Captain America t-shirt on there, because as a New Yorker, he'd definitely be supporting another New Yorker. And this is the HC Toys Winter Soldier figure. That was absolute trash until I managed to upgrade the body, modify the arm a bit, swap the arms out, get a new head sculpt. There was too much work for it to be like I'd say worth it. Don't bother, just save up and buy a Hot Toys version rather than buying the HC Toys figure and then spending loads of money trying to upgrade it. There is no point. The only good thing about it is that gun. But yeah, he's up the back there hiding away with this Iron Captain. Or is it, what did I call him? Can't remember what I called him. But yeah, I suppose Iron Captain's good. And I've just this is the HC Toys Iron Patriot. And I've just modified the hell out of it. Like repainted bits of it, repainted the torso. I actually made it look more like Captain America with the 3 stripes going down the middle of the belly. Kept the star in the middle because, you know, it's Captain America star. And I put a new head sculpt in the helmet, dremeled it all out. There is videos on my YouTube channel. If you go back and have a look, you'll see exactly what I did to modify this. And he's got 2 shoulder cannons on, Wolf Predator style. Completely modified the hell out of it just to get it looking reasonably okay. That was one of the Iron Patriots I got sent, another HC Toys one accidentally. Don't know what happened. I think I ordered something else online, but this thing turned up and I have no idea why, but I think I got it for something like £12. So I was like, all right, I'll keep that then, you know. Whatever it was I was ordering, it probably wasn't that important for 12 quid. So when I got this, I just took some of the bits off it and put on this cap here. So yeah, he's standing at the back there with his hands on his hips looking super lame, because it is a bit lame. If you can afford the original Iron Patriot, go for it. The HC Toys one isn't really a replacement. Just a big blocky, chunky, heavy plastic, rubbery plastic even, Marvel Legends style figure. Okay, and coming along, we've got one of my newest figures in the collection, the Peacemaker. This was a present from my wife for my 40th birthday, which was in July. She asked me what I wanted and I sent her a list of figures she could potentially look at. And this is the one she picked for me, and I'm really glad she did. It's lovely. Look at the colours on that thing. It's amazing, and it is quite a unique suit. I really like the design of this. Although the arms do look a little bit stubby, but however. I really love the feet down here as well. The design of the foot is really, really great. All that detail, so cool. And then we've got my plastic Iron Man Mark 7, and the reason he's up here and not down with the other 7 suits now is because I picked up the die-cast version, which is weird because I said I wasn't going to do that, but then I saw a deal online for him and it was like 100 quid less than retail, and I was like, taking that. There was a bit of a scratch on the pants area, but it didn't bother me at all really, so yeah. And now this guy's up here hiding with Igor and Peacemaker. You can see that's the die-cast Mark 7 stand, but the person who I bought it off modified it for a crotch grabber rather than using the flight pole. And yeah, again, I was like, hey, actually, I was going to do that anyway if I got it. So, you know, you save me some time and money. And then Igor, such a big fan of this humongous armor. So cool, that blue pops so much. I had to have him in the collection, and I saw a great deal and I was just like, yep, I've been looking for this for a while. Came in at the right price for me, so I picked him up. He was a must for me, and I wish I hadn't slept on him so long, but yeah, he's amazing. Okay, so that was the first top shelf, and then coming down onto the eye-line shelf, as I call it, or the middle shelf. This is my MCU collection, and they're all sort of clustered together because I wanted to get that sort of idea of you know, a massive montage of them all together. I wanted them all clustered like this because it just looks really cool and it saves me space. But mostly because I wanted them all clustered together in a big team up picture. So these look amazing. I still love the Avengers Hulk. This is still a great figure. It still looks really cool, really well painted. And it's still impressive to look at. We've got Ultron. We've got Scarlet Witch, the original first version. My custom Winter Soldier. Still think that my face mask on him just makes him look so mean and cool. Got Vision. We've got Age of Ultron Hawkeye, Homecoming Spider-Man. I really like that. That's a really good suit. It's not my favourite suit, but he still looks great. We've got Age of Ultron Black Widow. Some people have a problem with the hair frizzing up and things like that. So yeah, I just used some a little bit of hairspray, sprayed it into the corner of the sink, and then, you know, picked it up with my finger and brushed it down and just sort of held it all the way down. And it sits and holds quite well. So I don't know if that's something other people would do. I normally don't like fussing with the hair, but when he you know, it helps your collection and helps the figure look better, I think it's important to just take a couple of minutes to do that. We've got Age of Ultron Thor. This is like my classic version of Thor. And I needed one in the collection. I still think the Age of Ultron one is great. Got it all as part of a deal. I think I bought 4 or 5 figures altogether for a great price. Age of Ultron cap, still one of the best looking classic Captain America suits. It's just because the colours are so bright and vibrant. They give him that sort of almost comic book look. It's very cool. And then we've got Mark 43 Iron Man, still a great looking piece. This is one of the original versions. I know they reissued him, and I'm so glad other people got to pick him up, because it is a really great suit, and he works really well with the Hulk Buster, you know, which we'll see in a minute. This is Guardians of the Galaxy 1 Star-Lord. This is again one I picked up. I might have even picked it up this year. Not 100% certain. I'm sure I did. And big fan of that. I do have the Infinity War version on pre-order, but I might have to cancel that now that I've got this guy. I like Guardians of the Galaxy, but I don't need lots of Star-Lords in my collection. But then again, I did say I don't need more than one Black Widow, and I've got, what, 1, 2, 3, at least 4 so far. Gonna get 5 when the Endgame version of her, it comes out, because she's on pre-order. And then I'll probably end up getting 6, because I like that white suit version from the Black Widow movie. That might come out sometime in the next 50 years, if they ever bother to release it. Seriously, Disney should just Disney Plus it or something. That way we can all just at least watch the damn film. And then we've got Black Panther, still one of the coolest suits in the MCU. Love that one. We've got Doctor Strange. This is the first one from the first movie. Again, the Infinity War version wasn't different enough for me to want to pick it up, and I only need one in the collection, and that's him. Still an amazing looking figure though, really is. I think it was one of my figures of the year a few years ago. Brilliant. The original plastic War Machine Mark 1. I wish I'd picked up the die cast. My biggest regret. I actually have the Neon Tech War Machine on pre-order. I'm paying for that at the moment, and that should come in a few months. I'm not in a rush to get it. That's why I decided to put it on down payments and things like that. Just because when it turns up, and it will look great with my other Neon Tech. But yeah, again, Hot Toys reissue War Machine Mark 1 diecast. There's enough hunger there for it now, I think. Lots of people have been saying they want it. And you've reissued ones like the Mark 47, so that would be an easy win for you, I think. But then again, I don't know. I don't see the numbers. Maybe the numbers don't correlate to great sales for War Machine. You know, the Mark 4, I think, was still on Sideshow's website for sale recently, and I was just like, normally they sell out pretty quick because they don't do a lot of them, but maybe they've upped their production numbers and now he's not selling as fast as he normally would, and maybe that's putting them off from making another one. We've got Falcon at the back there, Winter Soldier, still a cool figure. They've been a bit shy about releasing more Falcons, and I'm pretty sure Winter Soldier and Civil War versions are the only ones they've done. So maybe we'll get another one in the future when the Winter Soldier Falcon TV show comes out on Disney Plus. In fact, I'm certain we'll get one from that show. So hopefully it's going to be as cool as that, or even better. Mr. Jackson himself, Nick Fury, still a great figure. I love the eye patch, the detail, and the intricate design of the strap and everything. Really makes him look great. I'm sure in future, if they produce more of these guys, they'll just get better with every single release. But for the moment, he's awesome, absolutely amazing. And then of course we've got PS4 Spidey. Technically he's not in the MCU. I had to put some colour in, and the PS4 Spidey suit is still my favourite from the video game. I'm not a big fan of all the other ones. I don't even think I've pre-ordered any of the others. I definitely haven't got that 2099 Spider-Man. I don't know nothing about it. Never used the suit in the game. In fact, every single time I got a new sort of suit, I'd take the powers from that suit, if I like the powers, and then just put it on this one in the game. So I didn't really play with any other suits, except for the big time Spider-Man and the Doc Ock suit. I think I played with those two suits on for a while, but the rest of them I didn't bother. It's not my bag. This is one of my favourite designs of Spider-Man I've ever seen in my entire life. So until they bring out another one that I absolutely love, this guy is #1 Spider-Man in my collection, hands down. And then we've got this bullet head mantis, or the hypnotist, shall we say. It's okay, it's a nice figure. The chest area is way too big. And yeah, I wish he'd come with more accessories. The head sculpt's okay though, it looks quite nice. But it is a little bit lacking in detail, you know, it's a bit bland. But overall, it's still a nice looking figure. There's enough detail in there. And when you're walking past, you can see it's Mantis. I have Nebula and Gamora on pre-order as well. So hopefully they'll come soon. But whenever they're released, they'll be turned up in the collection. And we've got this, what is this, the Iron Legion? This is #3. They only released one of these and I was really surprised. I think partly because, you know, what were they going to do? Just release 5 of these and just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on them? I don't think that would have worked. But then if they're not going to do that, they could have got different chest pieces and you could have like bought 5 of them and then just swap the chest pieces over, or swap the panels over for, you know, wherever the numbers are on this thing, to give you the full Iron Legion. But then I don't think the demand was there. People haven't been screaming for more Legions recently, have they? No, I don't see anything about it on Facebook. But yeah, still a nice figure. The articulation is a little bit lacking. Would have been better if we'd been able to pose a bit more. But yeah, still a nice looking figure. It's Hot Toys, they all are. There's a Chitauri in the back there hiding. That's still a cool looking figure, but it's yeah, it's starting to show its age a little bit now. So if they ended up coming out with another one, I reckon they could knock it out of the park with all their newer technology. But still very good. And I see that Sideshow have got a few back up on their site, so they're still on sale somewhere, which is mad, really. How many years ago did they come out and they're still on sale at retail? Nuts. And down there we can see we've got the first Guardians of the Galaxy Groot. This was a pickup I got recently, and it is so lovely. I mean, I was tempted to pick up the HC Toys version because it was just, you know, it would have been one in the collection. But then this guy came up on eBay for a great price with Rocket, so I had to grab them, and they are amazing. They look great, but he was definitely in my second tier priority. So I definitely wasn't a day one, I must have this figure. He was definitely in my, if I get a chance, I'll pick it up. But funds willing, I'll be able to get him. But if I never get him in the collection, I guess I could live without him. But actually, I'm really glad I got him now, because he looks really imposing on the shelf next to everyone else. And Rocket's head sculpt is a little bit lacking now in terms of detail. I really wish they'd done better with that first one. But for the time, it was okay. But now you can see that new Endgame Rocket and the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Rocket, maybe even the Infinity War one, just puts this one to shame, absolutely. But that gun is still awesome. It's massive. So much detail in that gun as well. Yeah, they haven't done any more of these, and it looks amazing. So I'm glad I picked it up just for the gun, because that's wicked. And then of course we've got Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Stan Lee, and he looks amazing. But I've got the Thor Ragnarok Stan Lee coming as well, mostly because it's a Thor Ragnarok figure, and I'm kind of all in on that range. But I didn't pick up Road Worn Thor because I had Age of Ultron Thor, and I didn't think it was different enough. And you will always have regrets, and I will always regret not buying Road Worn Thor. But at the same time, you got to pick your battles, really, and the money we have is very finite. So if you can't afford it, don't break your back trying to get it. So yeah, I gave up on Road Worn Thor, but it allowed me to pick up Hela and Loki at a later date. So yeah, so glad I've got the Ragnarok version. But this Stan Lee is amazing. I've actually bought a second version of this suit. Like I bought it from one of the sellers on Facebook, he parts out figures, and he had a few of these. So I said, yeah, give me the whole suit, please. The dome, all the packaging, the hands, the breather thing at the back. I want it all because in the future I could make another spaceman if I really wanted to. So yeah, I picked up all the bits, even the boots. Only thing missing is the head sculpt and the body. And then of course we've got the Mark 1 Age of Ultron, and it's amazing. I absolutely love this, the detail in it. And they've got the zombie Iron Man coming out now, and it's very reminiscent of this style of battered, worn piece of machinery, except with the skull on one side of Tony Stark. But you can see that they actually were very careful in wording what they called it. I think they called it Mysterio's Illusion of Iron Man or something like that. And I don't know why they did that, because they could have just said Zombie Iron Man or something, but they were very specific about it. Maybe, I don't know, for licensing rights, or maybe there was something about you can't, you know, the MCU and zombies, you can't do that. Disney won't let them. But yeah, it was an interesting wording for that Zombie Iron Man, which looks amazing, and everybody's gone nuts about the price. And so would I. Bloody hell. That's a really rich sort of dessert, isn't it? That $420 or whatever. Jeez. But I can kind of understand that base is like, it's got a light up feature and everything. And some people have said it looks cheap and nasty, but then it is it looks like what it's meant to be, which is an illusion. You know, this was created in a lab by people to make it look like he was hallucinating. And it looked really cool. And I think if you can afford it, you should definitely pick it up, because that's going to be one in years to come that will be a bit of an oddity and quite a niche find, I think. People will be like, you know, when they're looking at your collection, they'll gravitate towards that Zombie Iron Man and go, what is that? You know, so if you can get it, I'd say get it, but obviously don't break the bank in order to do so. But that's not coming out till 2022. So, you know, if you can find somewhere that would be like, you know, if you can save up that cash, or, you know, find somewhere that will take a low deposit and then trickle the money out every month, you might not even really notice that you're paying for it. And then by the time it comes out, boom, really cool Iron Man in the collection. But yeah, this is one of my sleeper hits, this Ultron Mark 1. I do love it. My eyes get drawn to it every time I'm looking at my collection. It's great. And this is the Hot Heart Daredevil that I got recently. It's got a few flaws. It's still a nice figure, don't get me wrong, but I would have preferred a different body on there that could actually pose a little bit more. But then I understand why they didn't do that, because the aesthetics of the muscles underneath and the tight upper torso sort of, and the tight top here would have made it look a bit weird if you had loads of joints everywhere. So they wanted to keep it as realistic looking as possible. And it's okay, it's a nice figure, but I wouldn't call it essential, but it's still nice. Got Quicksilver, still a great looking figure, even now. Yeah, he was a bit of a difficult one to pick up for a while. People were struggling to pick him up. But yeah, he was part of a deal I got. Really glad I picked him up. And now he's sitting in my MCU collection. Okay, next shelf. Down here we've got a sort of Infinity War lineup, and this is sort of more like in eye line with me when I'm sitting on my chair. We see we've got the Iron Spider there. It's a nice looking figure. I'm not a big fan of that suit, but it is what it is. I paid my cash for it, and it looks good in the collection, but unfortunately I think that will deteriorate over time. We'll see. And then we've got Black Widow. I still love this figure. I think it's cool as hell. I do like that sort of short blonde hair she's got, and that jacket she's got on there. Have you noticed that in the new trailers for the Black Widow film, her friend or her sister or whoever it was is actually wearing that? So maybe because that film was supposed to happen before Infinity War, maybe she's wearing that to honour her in some way. Maybe she handed the mantle of Black Widow over to that woman, and she swapped the jacket to say, like, you're now Black Widow, I am now just Natasha Romanoff. Or, you know, what I suspect is that the sister croaked it and she's wearing that to honour her. But that's just my speculating. I don't know anything. That's just my guess. And then we've got Infinity War Thor. This was the reissue that they did because I was lazy and couldn't be bothered to pick him up at the time. But I'm so glad I did. It's still an amazing looking figure. So if you get a chance to pick that up, it's great. Infinity War Thanos. You've got to have a Thanos in the collection if you're an MCU fan. You've got to. You can either pick this one up or the armoured one. I've got both. Still waiting on armoured Thanos. He hasn't turned up yet. It's really annoying. It's like, what's it been? 8 months now since he actually got the first batch out. And now I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs waiting for the next batch. It's ridiculous. But I've completely paid him up. And then I got an email the other day saying it should be coming into stock soon. So yeah, it won't be long before he's in the collection. But 8 months, come on. That's too long to wait between batches. That's nuts. They've got to get better with that. And then of course we've got Infinity War Captain America. And I wasn't going to pick this one up. But then the uniqueness of it and the fact that he doesn't look like that in Endgame suggests that this is the only time he's ever going to look like this. So yeah, I had to pick it up in the end. The shields, that bearded head sculpt. Got to do it, man. He's going to be a unique figure in years to come. I don't think they're going to release another Infinity War Captain America anytime soon. But that's famous last words. I'll probably get proven wrong by Hot Toys and Howard Chan now. Cheers, mate. And that is a third-party Soul Ghost figure, which is supposed to be Red Skull from Infinity War. Looks okay. Like I said, it was a bit of a glorified kit bash. It does look like something you could technically make yourself. And I would recommend some of you do that. Because, yeah, there's nothing here that you couldn't make yourself. That head sculpt, or a similar head sculpt, is available quite readily online. So, yeah, pick up a third-party version and make your own, I reckon. Unless you can't be bothered, in that case, just pick up Soul Ghost. Maybe you're lazy like me. And then we've got Infinity War Iron Man. And this is super cool. It's not my favourite suit. I still got a bit of a problem with the nanotech. It didn't work for me as much as the original suits did. The more we got into the MCU, the lazier it got with their costumes. They could just pop their helmets on and off whenever they wanted because nanotech, space tech, the helmets were on, the helmets were off. The suit was on, the suit was off. Even Doctor Strange in Infinity War, he was wearing like normal attire 1 second. And then when Hulk crashes through the stairs at the start of the film, he starts running up the stairs and you can see his clothing change. And he turns into his Doctor Strange outfit. And that was nuts. I just thought it was crazy. I was just like, oh, I understand, but if you're going to keep, it just means that they can flip-flop anytime they want. It just gets lazy. And that's a bad sign because then if that becomes lazy, what else starts to become lazy? The story will start becoming lazy. The details will start becoming lazy. And the further they go down into the MCU, I think we're going to get more problems coming up. And yeah, but the first 3 phases, amazing storytelling, just all the way through. Not everything's perfect, but the actual heart and the core of a great saga is there. And you can sit down from the first Iron Man to the end of Endgame. And by the end of Endgame, mate, I was in the cinema, and the first time I was watching it, I was like, that final battle scene, when they were all fighting together and stuff, like I couldn't even see the screen at one point because I was starting to tear up. It was so awesome. I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool. Except for when Captain Marvel turned up on screen. I don't know why. She just has not resonated with me at all yet. And every time she turned up, I rolled my eyes. And even my wife, I was sitting there in the cinema with her, and she turned around, and I think it was the bit where I think she said, all the girls turn up on screen, and they say, don't worry, she's got help, or something like that, and all the girls turn up and start walking along, and you could almost hear the "Here comes the girls, 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 girls," that music in the background. It was almost that bad and cringeworthy. My wife turned to me and she sort of rubbed her forehead. She went, oh my God, this is so bad. Well, what, the film? And she went, no, this bit. And then when that was over and it went back to how it was supposed to be, all the really cool action and stuff, she was like, oh no, this is better again. So if their idea was to impress the girls, it didn't work. My wife hated it a bit. She really did. She felt patronised. And then again, there was in the Infinity War Machine Mark IV. I never reviewed that. I felt it'd be a little bit biased of me because this was a gift from Sideshow / my wife with that sort of giving thing they did at Christmas. Absolutely amazing. And when I got it, I was so moved. It was such a touching sort of little, they put a message in there saying about, you know, hey Billy, how you doing? I know you're having a great year, blah, blah, blah. Here's a gift from us. This is from, this is because your wife sent us an email and stuff. It was just such a lovely gift. And yeah, it did really pick me up a little bit. Such a great moment. And this is Endgame Rocket. This is I think the real genuine 100% first Endgame figure in my collection. Endgame Rocket. I'm still waiting for them to release Ant-Man. Mind you, Ant-Man is really from Ant-Man and the Wasp. So not even Ant-Man, not even Wasp. So, you know, this is the first Endgame figure. Maybe Black Widow or Hawkeye will turn up next. Or Ronin, shall we call him. But yeah, so far, only official Endgame figure to appear in my collection. And then we got this really cool sort of shield suit, Tony Stark from Endgame. Again, third party, so it's not official. I'm still a big fan of that. And then he's got a little Ant-Man there. That's a Marvel Legends Ant-Man in his hand. Just carrying him along, getting him ready for the heist. And then we've got a nice big open space here with lots of risers. Because once I get Armored Thanos and the whole Endgame lot, I think I've pretty much gone all in on the Endgame lot. And they're all going to try and fit on here. It's not much space to fit them all in, but it's enough for, you know, much more space than I would normally get for them. But yeah, moving along. Let's move up to here. And we can see that I have my Hulkbuster and Iron Man collection. Let's zoom out a little bit. Sorry, you can just see the corner of the gimbal on the right. But here you can actually see the entire sort of Iron Man collection just along here, with the Ragnaroks just placed in the middle just because I needed the height for Hulk. But yeah, I'm so chuffed I've gotten all of this. Coming up here we can see we've got loads of the helmets on a rack. We've got some ZD Toys Iron Man suits here from Endgame, which I kind of like. I really like the way they've painted them. They're amazingly painted. The articulation leaves a lot to be desired, if I'm honest. But yeah, I've got all of them just because I really like the paint applications on them for 1/12 scale. Maybe, I don't know, Marvel Select scale, what's that? 1/10th, 1/11th? Maybe 1/9th, I don't know. 1/10th we'll say. And then of course we've got this 1/12 suit up gantry from Cove, and then we've got a comicave Iron Man Mark 7 just standing in there. Looking cool. And then we've got the Iron Man Neon Tech 2.0. I really like that. I love the black and the yellow together. I really wish I'd picked up the blue one now, because the Mark 4, yeah, I regret not picking that up now. And then we've got Punisher War Machine. Oh, such a big, bulky, badass looking figure that. Really love the paint application on that. He looks so badass. That was a day one pre-order, definitely. Then we've got the Mark 45 from Age of Ultron. Still a great looking figure, and I really like the reds on that. It's a little bit different from all the other reds from the normal suits. So he does stand out a little bit more. And we've got my Silver Centurions. And these are, I think the right one is a normal red one, and the one on the left is a custom paint job I did myself a few years ago. It took me ages to get the blue paint off. Took forever. Of course we've got the Mandarin. Looking cool and maybe even slightly drunk and asleep. But still, looking cool. And he's got the Pepper Potts Mark 43 head sculpt on his lap, just holding it. We've got the Mark II Whiplash. I'm definitely getting the Mark 1 now. I'm definitely getting the original Whiplash. They're gonna release it again, but with a new MMS and a new paint job and everything. So yeah, I'm definitely getting that because I was so close to buying a scalpered one on eBay several times. But yeah, I'm so glad I didn't in the end, because now I can just get it at retail when it comes out. And we got the first 7 suits. This is the Mark 1 2.0, and then we've got the Mark 2 Unleashed. Still a big fan of that. The details, like in the boots and the arms and stuff, you don't get on the die cast. You don't get that level of detail. So this is definitely still worth having in the collection. But I know some people love the die casts more than anything. Even I do. I think die casts are amazing. But you can't get that level of detail on the die cast, so it stays in the collection. However, there is a chance that they could redo this figure again, like the die cast version, and call it like Die Cast Unleashed or something. That's always a potential with Hot Toys. So, you know, if they do that, I might swap it out. I used to say, oh, I don't need a die cast if I've got the plastic version. But I've proven time and time again to, you know, not heed my own words and end up grabbing the die cast in the end. Maybe because of the hype, but maybe because of the sheer style of them and the great sort of new sort of tech they use to make them look even better. But then we've got the Mark III die cast, one of the first figures I bought from Sideshow. So I always used to pick mine up from other places, but at the time the exchange rate was better. So when you did the math on Sideshow, it actually turned out to be the same price or a little cheaper to get them imported from Sideshow. But now the exchange rate is trash. So now I can't even afford most of the Sideshow ones. It's just too expensive. You have to pay all the import taxes as well. So one day, if the exchange rate comes back to normal, we can actually be able to buy more. But yeah, Sideshow was my preferred choice when it all came out as you know, the same price. But now it's a bit too much expensive. So one day maybe we can get back to it. I believe that's the Mark 50 head sculpt, just sitting down there. Maybe I'll buy a suit and a body for that and have that displayed as an actual figure at some point. And here's the Mark IV. This is a plastic Mark IV. Again, I didn't pick up the die-cast version because it's not my favourite suit. This Mark III is still one of my favourites of all time. It's like the OG, the original, and it's cool as hell. But one of the problems I've got with it is that chest piece. There's a lack of the angular pieces here, but this chest piece is far too round, and it shouldn't be that way. Oh, there's a bit of dust on it already. Bloody hell, I just dusted that. There's dust already. God, that's annoying. But yeah, the Mark IV is not one of my favourites, so I didn't pick up the die cast. I'm still not gutted about that. I'm fine with just having the plastic version of the 4. Saves my shelves as well from potentially being damaged. And I wasn't going to pick up the Mark V because I had the plastic version for years. But then when I saw this and I saw all the details in it, and it being one of my favourite suits, I had to get it. I had to. And I'm so glad I did. The details are insane. Mark V, baby. He's going to look awesome with the new Whiplash that's coming out. And here is the Mark VI, and I've put all the battle damage pieces on. I still like that piece, but it's just, again, not my favourite. And then of course we've got the die-cast Mark VII. And like I said, I picked them up much cheaper than I expected to. I saved like well over £100 on them. I think the only issue was that the pod pieces were missing, and there was a scratch on the I don't know, the pants area here. There's like a mark here, and I was like, it's supposed to look a bit damaged and worn anyway, so it didn't bother me. So yeah, I ended up picking them up in the end, and that's the only way you would have got me picking them up as well, because I certainly wouldn't have paid all that money when I had the plastic version, because I still like the Mark VII, but it's not my die-hard favourite suit in the whole of the MCU. So blowing all that money just for a suit that I kind of like isn't my style. So yeah. Okay, coming over, we can see we've got Hela. I'm such a big fan of this figure. This is an awesome looking fig. She looks great. I'm not sure we'll ever see her again in the MCU, or even as Kate Blanchett portraying her. So we may never ever get another Hela. Although one with the sort of long hair draping would be cool. Just get a decent third-party company to produce a hair down head sculpt, and you can swap it out, make her look really badass. And then we've got Ragnarok Thor. still a nice looking figure, although not great at posing, if I'm honest. I haven't done much of the posing. He kind of stayed like this for a very, very long time. But yeah, still looks great. It's a very unique look to him as well, with that helmet and stuff. And then we've got Loki, and the original Avengers Loki is being re-released. And I've got that on pre-order as well, because of course I have. I'm very, very chuffed, because it looks cool as heck. But this one's still great as well. But with the helmet on, it really does help hide the flaws, and I think it's probably on the left-hand side here. The right-hand side is perfect, but the left-hand side, it's a little bit more, bit ropey. So with the helmet on, it hides some of that facial features on that side that make it look a little bit less like the actor. And we've got the big boy. Look how big and nasty he is. Gladiator Hulk. That's going to be one of those figures in years to come that people will be, you know, surprised it was actually made into a figure, just for how big and enormous and cool looking it is. Really is a stunning piece. And as the years go by, he's still marked up in my list of great figures in my collection. As are all the Ragnarok really, and that's why I'm getting the Stan Lee one, because I need him with these guys as well. Although he's not going to fit on the light like along here, so I'm not sure where he's going to go. Maybe he'll stand between the legs of the Hulkbuster here. I don't know. The space is a premium now, so I have to keep working things out and moving things around. Hence why I've got this little shelf up on the back here to try and put some other figures up here away, just because I don't have the space for them all anymore. And the helmets, they might actually all have to go away in a box somewhere pretty soon. But yeah, Hulkbuster, man, the size of this thing, absolutely amazing. We had to wait like 3 years for this thing to finally drop. 3 long, arduous years. And it was torture. But when it finally came out, we were all very happy, because it is a monster. It's so impressive. And I don't have all my lights on simply because I don't use the lights in these anymore. Just because it is a real pain in the butt to put them all on. And by the time I got all the lights turned on and the batteries put in, I'd be too tired to even film this. So you can see how long it's taken me to film all of this. So yeah, I hope you don't mind me not putting the lights on, because unfortunately I can't. Although, you know, people are saying just get the soap reactors and things like that. But at the moment, I'd rather be putting my money into figure collecting and just getting more figures. But one day, once I'm tired of just adding to the collection, I just want to upgrade the ones I've already got. Maybe I will get some sort of soap reactor thing going and get them all lit up nice and easily. And coming down, we can see this sort of shelf area here. I'll stand back as much as possible. I've got this shelf by the desk, and I've managed to lower all this down because it used to be a bit higher up. If I get down here, you can see all the way along here some Mezcos, Figma Iron Man, and then we've got the NECA Turtles just above my computer screen with a few Marvel Legends dangling down and a Robocop Spider-Man. I'm a big fan of these NECA Turtles now. I'm really looking forward to them releasing more in the range, because they are awesome. I don't tend to review them on the channel because there's a billion reviewers out there and they all do these figures. I don't think I'd be able to add more to what they're saying. NECA Movie Turtles, I've got them on full scale as well. I've also got Splinter and Shredder, so I'm going to add to this collection as they come out. I just pre-ordered Toka and Razor on the NECA online site, so they'll come in the near future. And then we've got some horror Mezcos and that bullet head V for Vendetta figure. They all look awesome. Big fan of all of them. I don't have Pennywise though. Maybe I should pick that up, you know, just as part of the collection, but I don't know, I wasn't a big fan of the film. Didn't think it was that good. And we've got 5 Ronin Wolverine. I've got rid of a lot of my more expensive, highly sought after Mezcos. I had to get rid of them because I was trying to pay for another thing, and the person, you know, this figure was costing me a lot of money. So in order to recoup some funds, I had to get rid of something. So some of my rarer Mezcos went, I'm afraid, including the Tiger Stripe Wolverine. But I ain't even gonna tell you how much money I got for that. But you'd faint if you realised how much that is worth now for what, if you bought it at retail, for how much it's worth now. That's crazy, absolute crazy money. And then we've got the Kao Yokoyama Ganju 2 figure from Damn Toys. Still weird and fun, that one. We've got a Figma Guyver at the back there. I love Guyver, big fan of that. I love that 90s anime. That manga video released, I was waiting monthly for them to release the new one just because I loved it so much. And then we've got Sam for Trick or Treat. If you haven't actually watched that, it's one of the best Halloween movies in the world. I love that film. It's really grown on me over the years. It's one of my favourites. And we got some Tony Starks in various guises. This is the Battle Damage Mark III from years and years ago. I did a refurb on this guy actually. I did. He didn't have a neck piece and he didn't have a head sculpt. And all I had really was the arms and the legs, because when I bought the Mark IV figure, the arms and the legs of this guy came with it, but nothing else. So I ended up buying the torso for him and the pants. And I think the torso was completely faded. It was like pink, so I had to repaint all of that. And then I'd also got a pair of Mark II pants here that were silver, and I repainted them to match, and now it just looks great, doesn't it? I was really surprised by how much it worked. Looks cool as heck. So yeah, I was impressed by my own paint technique, even if I do say so myself with that one, because I got away with it, and it does look suitably battle damaged and it fits the figure well. And then we've got the racer Tony Stark suit. Sorry, he's got the gantry in the way here, but he's holding that briefcase there. Was that with the Mark V? Gotta be, innit? Yeah, it came with the Mark V. But that's the Mark V head sculpt on there now. And we've got loads of workshop stuff at the back there on the table. Loads of details in there if you want to make the effort to look. You can see all those bits and bobs. It's on the desk behind him. And then we've got the HC Toys Mark VI that I got that was trash and fell apart. So I modified it to make it look like a fixer-upper. And the gantry there. There's a video of how I did that on the channel as well. And then we've got the mechanic. Still a big fan of that. I know some people have been criticising the Iron Man sequels, but I love all 3 of them. I think they're great. I really enjoyed all 3 for what they were. Doesn't mean they're not flawed, I know, but I still like them. And I do love me that mech test Tony suit. I like the fact that he's got the boots of the Mark 42 and the arms on already. Looks great. And then we've got the suit up gantry. Let's move back. And this is one of my favourite pieces in the collection. It just commands your attention. The suit up gantry with the Mark IV piece. Big fan of that. I think this is the 1.0 version that they released. I know they did a die-cast version, but yeah, this is still my favourite. Love this piece. So much detail. Amazing. And that, I believe, is my Hot Toys MCU collection. So now that we've done that, maybe we will move on and do my small and very humble DC collection next. Let's move on. Okay, and here's my DC collection. Again, it's a smaller, more humble collection than say the Marvel lot. But yeah, it's mostly Batman. I absolutely love the '89 Batman and Jack Nicholson Joker. It's just, I was 9 when the film came out, and it sort of, you know, it was what I grew up with from the age of 9 to about, I don't know, 15 or whatever. Such a great film. I absolutely loved it, and it introduced me to Tim Burton. I'm still a big fan of his films, his earlier work. I'd say just after 2000 he started to come down a little bit, but pre-2000 Tim Burton movies are awesome. We can see these figures are still amazing to look at. I'm still blown away with that 89 Batman. That thing is still so movie accurate. When I used to see pictures of this online, I was like, that's crazy. The details are outstanding. And then the Nicholson Joker. These are the types of figures that put Hot Toys on the map. The detail in these DX figures really, really elevated Hot Toys amongst all the other 1/6 scale companies to make them one of the best, because the details in these are amazing, and they were so sought after for years. And I think, is it Mars Toys are now doing the Jack Nicholson Joker? But I'm not sure about that, because I think they were using stock photos or using photos of a Hot Toy. So you never know how that's actually going to come out when it is finally released, because if they were using a Hot Toy as their prototype, then yeah, people might be misbuying that, I think, or mis-pre-ordering. But for the price, I'd say even if it's like half the quality, it's still going to look pretty good. And I reckon lots of people will nab that if it manages to make it out of the factory, because sometimes these things tend to fail every so often. You know, they announce it, then it goes quiet for 2 years, and then suddenly you get an email or someone in one of the websites says, yeah, no, this has been cancelled now. So you never know. You can see the 89 Batman Keaton. Oh, Batman. So cool. And he's got a custom cape on now. Love it. And then we've got Mime Joker. Still a great compliment to these two. And that I think that's one of my Hot Toys bargains for you know, ever. I think I paid £105 for this guy, fully boxed with all the gear in it, nothing missing. 105 quid. Nuts. eBay, amazing. It was just one of those things where I was like, buy it now. Click, and I couldn't believe it actually turned up. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna get scammed, I know it. But it didn't. 105 quid for the whole lot. My bargain, best bargain ever for a Hot Toy, I think. Couldn't do better if I stole one. And then we've got the 92 Batman Returns Batman. I love Batman Returns. And here's Catwoman. This is a Kit Bash version from 2 different versions. I think the AC Play version and the Superman Toys Catwoman. I used to have the Superman Toys Battle Damage Catwoman, but in the end I got rid of it. I swapped the body over for a tbleague and everything. Again, all videos on the channel, you can have a look at them. But yeah, she didn't survive the cut. I had to make a choice. Either this one went or the Battle Damage version went. I think the Battle Damage version lost out, I'm afraid. So yeah, this is still a great figure. And I'll be surprised if Hot Toys release one. And if they do, I would be very, very interested to see how they're going to do that. Because I know they can, but they've been saying for years they're going to do a Catwoman, and it's never happened. So maybe one day, but it ain't happened yet, so I ain't holding my breath anymore. And we got the Dark Knight Rises Batman, and it's still a nice figure, but I always thought it was a bit underscaled, very small. I mean, if you put this guy up against the Ben Affleck armoured Batman here, it really does pale, like it's not tall enough. The only reason he's bigger now is because I've got him on a riser to make him look taller. Same with these two at the back. Elevate them up a little bit above the Jokers and the Catwoman. But yeah, other than that, the details were amazing. They still are. Still looks really cool. I'm really glad I picked him up. And then we've got the Joker. What hasn't been said about the Joker? Big fan of this figure. So impressive. And even now, there's been so many iterations of this character out on the market. You can't fart for a Heath Ledger Joker out on eBay. It's nuts. There's so many different ones, so many head sculpts, clothing sets. It's crazy. If anyone ever sends a message going, how can I make this figure? I would be like, you serious? You serious? This is the easiest one to make because there's just so many kits out there to produce this guy. So many parts you can grab off of all the sites. Very easy one to make. I really like this one. It's still not been bettered. I love it. Then we've got armoured Batfleck. I needed a Batfleck in the collection even though I'm not a big fan of the films. I think Ben Affleck did a good job with what he was given. I needed one, and this armoured Batman just looks really cool. So I managed to pre-order him, got him. No regrets, love it. And then we've got Toys Era Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I got rid of the other two head sculpts. Saved myself some money by, I only wanted one head sculpt, so when it came with 3, I just got rid of the other 2. And this is great for what I want. Looks a lot like him. Does everything I need it to. Ticks all my boxes. Very happy with it. Arkham Knight Batman. So impressive. Arkham Origins Batman next, Hot Toys. Seriously. Arkham Origins Batman has to be made. Stop messing around now and give us Arkham Origins Batman. That suit is amazing. You know it's amazing. It needs to be produced as a hot toy. And as soon as you do, I'm going to throw my money at you. Arkham Asylum Joker. Very nice figure. Very detailed. I love Mark Hamill as the Joker, especially in the animated series. But yeah, there's not much I can say about him other than the fact that he looks great and he fits in with Arkham Knight Batman amazingly. And then we've got Deathstroke. Still a bit of a hit amongst collectors because it's surprisingly posable for being such a bulky figure. I was really surprised by the engineering to make this guy actually pose quite well. And he still catches my eye from time to time. However, he is, and they all are, in a sort of shelf at the back here that sits back a little bit. They used to be higher up in the shelves, but I had to make way for so many MCU characters coming, especially the Endgame lot. These guys had to come down a level. But yeah, they're all still standing above one of my most favourite pieces in my entire collection, the 89 Batmobile. I love this thing. I love this thing so much. It's freaking awesome. These are absolutely exemplary pieces of engineering and design. I could gush for hours about this, but yeah, my heart broke a little bit because the next thing I'm going to show you is a shelf that I've built above the door. This is a new thing that I did just here, and it's got some figures and random bits on there that I didn't have space for anywhere else. And yeah, I'm screwing the shelf in here, and it fell all the way down there. And where do you think it hit? It hit right fucking there. Right there. Scratched my damn Batmobile. That's my fault for being such an idiot that I didn't actually put coverings over it, because I didn't think I would actually drop the bloody screwdriver. I was so cocky with my skills that I thought it wouldn't need to be actually covered over. And what happened? I got punished. I got punished for my arrogance. And I deserved it, because I'm a bloody idiot. So yeah, I nearly cried when I realised I'd scratched my Batmobile. But luckily I can't notice it. From a distance I can't notice it. But if I really take a good gander at it, every so often it will catch my eye and I get a bit of a frown on my face from it. But yeah, just got some Marvel Legends Hulks and the Thing up here. Got some Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. I have the Krampus cherub. I love that statue, it's so cool. Some Nightmare Before Christmas figures, a statue, and Play Arts Kai Iron Man that doesn't really fit in anywhere because it's a different scale, and I still like the design. It didn't fit in anywhere. But yeah, that's the most notable thing there, because it got some figures out of the way so that I could put other things up on other shelves. But sadly, it cost me a scratch in my Batmobile. My baby, my prized possession, my love. Oh, never mind. Could be worse. And then coming over, I'll just show you while we're on the DC kick. We'll spin around and we'll have a look at the Man of Steel just here. Taking the stand off him for now, he stands pretty well. And we've got Bruce Wayne at the back here. Again, I'm going to have to fix this because he's got that yellow staining that happens when the body leaks onto the shirt. I'll have to bleach it again. I need to find the time to do it, but I haven't had the time to do it. It's not high on my list of priorities. Then we've got this Batman armory just here. Love it. And this is the HC Toys Joker that they ripped off. But I did some bits to it to get it to a reasonable level. You can see the hair is a lot lighter and it probably shouldn't be that light. But I'm happy with it. It makes the colours pop a little bit more. And yeah, the white face paints and the smudging of the makeup is a little better now. I've got him just sort of sitting there menacingly going shh, with all of his money and knives and weaponry out, just taking a seat. So yeah, I think that's all of my DC characters. Let's get to movie icons. Okay, and coming around, you can see we are getting to the movie icons section, and this is where all the cool shit happens. We have the Battle Damage Terminator 2 figure, and I've got both head sculpts on two different bodies, just showing him off. And he's got that great big Gatling gun. Massive fan of that. Got the Great Twins 112 version just standing there, looking cool as hell as well. I absolutely love the details in this figure. Still to this day, I don't think they've done much better. And I'm using 303 leather protectant on this for as long as possible now, just because I need this thing to live as long as I do anyway, because I just always want this in my collection. I love it. It's so great looking. Such a big fan of the details in this guy. Amazing. At the back here we've got the Crow. It's looking really cool. I love that movie. To this day it's still one of my favourite films. Can't rain all the time. And then we've got the Mad Max Fury Road at the back here. Furiosa, still, she was a bit of a heartbreak when she turned up and she was about 10 times too small. But now she is amazing. Okay, let's move this out of the way and have a look at the Mad Max Fury Road ones. Max and Furiosa together. And what I had to do with her was I put her on a little plastic stand there and elevated her up, just so she's a bit more close to the eye line of Max as well, just because they need to be sort of more on an even playing field. She's way too short and he is way too tall, surprisingly way too tall. But yeah, together they just look awesome. So glad I managed to be able to modify her to make her look a little bit more in keeping with the style of this Max. Despite the fact that they were supposed to be part of the same collection, they really dropped the ball with the height of this one and made her look like a teenager, which was a bit disappointing. So yeah, you've got to modify that if you get it. But the details in both of these VTS figures is amazing. Just look at them. There's so much going on. It's actually overwhelming when you think about just how much work had to go into making these. They did it, and it's great. And then we've got John Matrix. He looks absolutely awesome. Posing's not so good on this guy. The details make up for that. This is one of my favourite figures in the collection. Stunning piece. So many weapons, so many bits to him. Iconic. For me, it's one of my favourite movies of all time. It's so silly, but I remember getting it on VHS and I wore the tape out. I love that movie so much. Legend, living legend. We're going to be really sad and we're going to miss these guys when they're gone. Well, I will anyway, but I think the world will. Speaking of living legends, we've got the new threezero Rambo. I just did a review for this on the channel. And this is impressive, especially for the price. It's sub £200 and it is really great quality. And the prototype was sucky. It really was bad. It did not work. And that's why I didn't pre-order it. But as soon as I saw final photos, I was like, Got to get that before it sells out, because as soon as this goes, people are going to be kicking themselves, because it's very rare we get a decent Rambo figure on the market. So if you can, try and grab them quick. We've got the Hangman John Ruth from Hateful Eight. I still like Hateful Eight more than Django. It's weird, isn't it? I always speak to people and they're always like, no, Django Unchained is way better. It's the better film. But for me, I can't stop watching Hateful Eight. I think it's brilliant. Absolutely love it. So yeah, the Hangman John Ruth had to get into the collection. Still love that one. Part man, part machine, all cop. Look at this guy. Details in this are amazing. And you can see as I'm lifting him up and moving it along, you can see the sheen of the purple sort of changes a little bit, doesn't it? There's like a pearlescentness to it a little bit. Really, really great piece. Absolutely love this Robocop. It's the definitive Robocop on the market today, if you're not including the battle damage version with the Murphy head sculpt. But it's amazing. So it is one of those figures that I think if you're a big 80s action movie fan, this got to end up in your collection at some point, if it doesn't already. Top notch creativity from Hot Toys. They nailed it. And one day, I secretly think they'll do a Robocop 2. One day. And when they do, sorry, I've got to buy that one as well. Amazing. That is the Hellboy, or Hellman, figure that Damn Toys released years and years ago. And then they reissued it. And this is the reissue version. It's still great. The likeness isn't really there for Ron Perlman as much as you would hope. But it is a Hellboy figure, more than it is a Ron Perlman Hellboy figure. And it is fantastic. Still really impressive, so tall as well. It really does command presence on the shelf. And we've got the Toy Works Morpheus. I was calling him Rufus, but Morpheus, yeah. That's a nice figure. It's a shame there are some flaws with it, and the pleather jacket might not last over time, but still, lovely looking figure. I'll have to try and keep it in pristine condition as much as I can. And why the hell haven't we got more Jackie Chans in the collection? Huh? What's stopping all these companies from doing Jackie Chan? Is it because Jackie Chan doesn't want it and they're just so enamored by him that they will honour his wishes? Because it's just, or maybe his lawyers are just that on it, that they're cease and desisting like mad all the time. Because I don't know why we haven't got a slew of Jackie Chan. You blink and they drop another Bruce Lee. Blink and they'll drop another one. And then, but Jackie Chan? No, man, he is not getting the love he deserves in 1/6 scale, not one bit. And I remember, I think it's Ace Toys or someone like that said they were doing a Drunken Master version, and then they never came out with it. They said it was delayed for some reason. I don't understand, because this thing was really well received. This sold out pretty quick. As soon as I saw it, I pre-ordered it, got it, love it. It's Police Story Jackie Chan. It's amazing. And I can't wait till they actually twig with this and actually make more Jackie Chan figures, because we need a Drunken Master Jackie Chan. We've got a Builder Butcher figure here. That's an iris coat with a Rain Man head sculpt. And the clothing is just a hodgepodge of bits and odds and sods from everywhere else. And I made the nose myself, I made the belt myself, I made the sash myself. The shirt and the waistcoat is actually from Sweeney Todd. I bought them online. But they look the part, I think. I'm more than happy with it. Yeah, I made the butcher's nose myself. There's real wood in the handles. There's real metal to pin the handles together. Yeah, I just took my time with him and I made loads of knives for him. And they're all on the belt here. Let's move this out of the way. Sorry, dude. But yeah, I made the belt myself. All the knives here, they're all produced and come out. I won't pull them out now because I've only got one hand and I'm going to knock something over. I know I will. But yeah, that's a Rain Man Builder Butcher head sculpt. I'm really chuffed I got that. and I think that came from the website. They were going to sell out soon, so I picked one up before the actual website closed down. But I don't think Rain Man and the person who ran the website got on anymore. God, the dramas in 1/6 scale figure collecting can be a bit overwhelming, can't they? And this is a Kit Bash Bruce Willis I got. Another classic one. One day we'll get a high quality 1/6 scale licensed Bruce Willis figure. Maybe from Hot Toys. Is it 20th Century Fox movie? Was that 20th Century Fox? Because if it was, then Disney own it now. And you know, Hot Toys march to the beat of Disney's drum now. So you never know. You never know nowadays. We could actually get ourselves a Bruce Willis Die Hard figure from Hot Toys. Hot Toys Neo from The Matrix. This is one of those films, I think it was 99. I was really into my Hong Kong cinema back in the 90s. And I was, 19 when the film came out? So I'd spent many years watching movies by Hong Kong directors and choreographers like Yuen Wu-ping. So I knew from magazines and stuff like that that Yuen Wu-ping was actually working on an American film. And I was waiting for the film because I knew it was going to be awesome. And then they told us it was The Matrix. And not only was it a really amazing sort of Yuen Wu-ping choreographed fight scene movie, but there was just so much more going on in it. I absolutely loved it. And the details in it. Leather boots is a bit meh, but you know, it is what it is. I absolutely love all the guns you get with him. Guns, lots of guns. So awesome. The sunglasses, some of the best detailed sunglasses I've ever seen in 1/6 scale. Really great. And then we've got our Predators. We've got Wolf Predator. Big fan of that. So cool. Movie sucked ass. Absolutely sucked ass. So when this actually came out, I think people were a little bit on the fence about it. But for me, it's a cool Predator. It's amazing design. It's not his fault that the design for him wasn't warranted for the quality of film he was in. But it was an amazing design. I absolutely love this Wolf Predator. He really is quite a commanding presence on the shelf. Hot Toys did a really great job with it. So many details in there. Love it. And then we've got Elder Predator from Predator 2. Still got that gun in his belt there. Keep it. Love that film. I genuinely did really like that film. I never understood the criticisms of it because I was quite young when it came out, so I watched it all the time. And while I understand the flaws in it now, it's still got a good place in my heart because I love Predator, and then Predator 2 was different enough that it didn't like cheapen the quality of the first movie. So I love this. Still a great Predator to have in the collection. Those blue dreadlocks really separate him from the rest. And all those little details that they've put into him. You see like the rings on his tusks and all the little details and sort of tiny little skulls and bits and beads in his hair. All the little spikes in his face. And then we've got the classic Predator. This is actually from Predators, but it's designed like the classic Predator with a few variations on the original theme. But it's enough like the original to get away with just being considered the classic Predator. Love it. He's got a Lost Predator base just because I didn't have a normal classic Predator base to put him on, which is a shame. Move out of the way, you. We've got a Scar here. Again, Alien vs Predator. Not a great film, but yeah, could have been better. But yeah, I watched it, I enjoyed it. I like the idea of the new Predators. I like the little scar they put on their head once they actually killed an alien. It actually was quite like a badge of honor for them. I like that idea. And yeah, I like it when they actually add things to the lore of the Predators in these movies. The lore of what they add normally stands the test of time, whereas the films themselves tend to fade out and suck very quickly. We'll see about the new The Predator movie by Shane Black. Don't think that's going to last the test of time, and I don't think many people are going to remember The Predator from it either. then we've got Predator 2, City Hunter Predator, and I put that face mask on just to separate him from all the rest. And you can see not a lot of them actually have their masks on. And the reason is that I wanted this guy to have his mask on just because he was mostly seen in his mask in the movie. Wolf Predator, there's just too much detail on that face to cover him up. Elder Predator never had a mask. Scar Predator, I wanted one Predator to have his mandibles open like he's screaming. So yeah, I had him with his mandibles open. And then this City Hunter Predator, to separate him from all the others, I had him with that sort of breather mask on because he's the only one that comes with that. So yeah, they all have their sort of own unique look, but they all add to one decent Predator collection. Well, it's not every Predator, and you know, people aren't going to go mad for it. For me, these are some of the best Hot Toys you can get on the market. They're amazing. I love the details in them, and Hot Toys always comes up with high quality Predator whenever they make one. So yeah, I'm really glad that I've got all these guys. Okay, I've had complaints previously that I don't spend enough time on my figures and talking about them. So hopefully this is making up for that. If on the other hand you think I'm talking too much, sorry, but maybe I'll come with a slightly quicker edit at some point in the future. But yeah, we got Sideshow Beetlejuice. Got him posing there. Looking a bit drunk. Is he falling over? Hold on. Yeah, I think he's fallen over. I think he lost his balance here. You alright, mate? You okay? Yeah, you're alright. Yeah, I got him sorted now. Like I said, I always had him pointing and then looking down, just because I need to hide that head sculpt a little bit, because it is, it's not the best head sculpt. And I remember reviewing, that was one of my first reviews as well. And I went off on a rant about the head sculpt a little bit. Mr. Sweeney Todd. I like the film, I like the look of the film, I like the style of the film. I just did not like a lot of the music. Some of it is really annoying. I think it's Soderheim or whatever it is, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of his music from the sound of it. I don't think it works with my eardrums very well. But yeah, when they weren't singing, I was really enjoying the film. Alan Rickman is still amazing. He always brings an air of class to every movie he's in. Rest in peace, my man. But this figure is top notch. They always bring it with the Johnny Depp figures. There's someone there that's just a big fan of his, so they always bring it when they actually produce a figure of him. I love this chair that they made for him, it's amazing. Then I've got Pajama Saitama in the chair with him, One Punch Man. So now you know how he got that bald head. He has to go to Sweeney Todd. And I don't think Sweeney Todd knows what he's getting himself in for with this guy. I think he thinks he's just going to slit his throat, but we know it's not going to happen, don't we, Saitama? But yeah, the details and all the little accessories for Sweeney Todd are amazing. Saitama's good as well. I like it. 3A or 3-0. It's okay, but yeah, it is an anime figure, so there's nothing there that really challenges them, I think. The head sculpt wasn't trying to capture the likeness of an actor or anything. It was just an anime. So yeah, they did a good job with it. But personally, I don't think it was going to be very hard for them. Knowing the skills of the manufacturers, I know it wasn't that hard for them. And then of course we've got Ichabod Crane from Sleepy Hollow. Still one of my favourite movies to watch at Halloween. It's an amazing film. Like I said, early 2000 was when Tim Burton started to suck. So this is one of the last films he made before he did a lot of crap for Disney. And Frankenweenie was good, I like Frankenweenie. But very, very soon after, with Alice in Wonderland and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Dumbo. And that Miss Peregrine's film, yeah, no, it's just... He's a guy now, you know, he's getting older. He's got kids, he wants to make movies for them. I get it. But yeah, he needs to grow his balls back a little bit and get back into what he's known for, in my humble opinion. I know he wants to break out of that sort of cliche of him. But yeah, no, go back to what you're doing, Tim. Because to be honest, there is no one else who can do what you do. So just do what you do. Because there's a million other guys who could go out there and make an Alice in Wonderland movie. There's a million guys out there who could have done the Dumbo film. Jon Favreau did Jungle Book. He would have handled the Dumbo film, no problem. You, on the other hand, you need to get back into your dark gothic noir sort of German expressionism stuff that you're used to doing, because that's what I want to see from you. That's what you give to the world, and I want to see more of that. Anyway, moving on, let's get to Shocking Guy, or the Shining Jack Nicholson. Still, nice figure. Lightness is a little bit off, but yeah, still a really great looking shining figure. I love it. Chucky down there from Necker. He kind of fits in because he's supposed to be this scale anyway, I think. So he kind of works because he's a doll. And then we've got Gellert Grindelwald from Fantastic Beasts. God, that movie's a snorefest. But luckily, the figures are really impressive. They did a great job with these. Like I said, they always seem to bring it with Johnny Depp, and they did not disappoint with this guy. I absolutely love these glowing skulls, man. These are amazing. I actually bought another lot of these just because I want more skulls in the collection, and these are great looking detailed skulls, and they light up really well. Love it. Turn that off because it's messing with the lighting on the camera. Voila. And then we've got Our World or Outworld. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, it's the Hannibal Lecter. I know Blitzway did a better version of this. I'm more than happy with this guy with the mask on. He's always suited the collection, he's always worked for me, so I'm glad I got him. Superman Toys Scream Face. I think Sideshow are going to be doing this figure now. Yeah, Sideshow are going to actually have a stab at doing a Scream figure, and it's going to look a lot better than this, I reckon. But still, I did some updates to this guy, and once I did the updates, I was a lot happier with him. I weathered the boots, and I put real sort of pleather boots on him, more detailed. I weathered the costume a bit more. I actually changed and modified the hands a little bit so they didn't look off, because one hand was one sort of glove and another hand was another sort of glove, and it didn't really work. And then I added some paint applications to the face because some of the mask had paint chips missing out of it, and that was straight from the factory, that was straight from the company. So it was a very, very poor product. And I believe Superman toys are getting better now. So people have been showing some of their figs now, and they're actually improving. But yeah, this was one of their first, and it was subpar in all honesty. But with a few modifications, a little bit of a touch up here and there, it looks a hell of a lot better. And oh, that's naughty. Yeah, I know. It's yeah, it's a red man. Oh shit! You caught me. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, what can I say? I need a Dracula in my collection, mostly because I've pre-ordered the Mina figure, and the Mina figure I think is actually not like a recast or a knockoff of someone else's work. It's a wholly original figure by Redman Toys. And honestly, I want to support that. I want them to move away from ripping other people off. They've got the product know-how, they've got the technology, and they know the factories and the people in them, so they can actually go out and, you know, design and make their own figures and not rip off other people. And I want to support that, and I want a Dracula and a Mina figure, so I had to get one. So yeah, sorry, but yeah, I tried to avoid it where possible, but yeah, now that I'm getting Mina, I had to get this guy. And then we've got this HC Toys, another dodgy one. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, HC Toys Hellboy. This is one that I got a little while ago. I weathered the gun, I've weathered the coat to make it look a bit more faded on the edges, a bit more dirty around the pockets, and just at the bottom of the coat here. Weathered the boots and the trousers a little bit more. And I gave him a bit of a matte spray so that he doesn't shine up as much, because he looked a little bit like a plastic toy. But now I think he's got a little bit more about him, and it shows up the details a little bit more of that matte head sculpt, despite the fact that it might not be able to show that in the camera, but it does actually improve the figure a little bit, in my humble opinion. But yeah, this guy is great if you never managed to pick up the original Hellboy. But also at the same time, he's great if you want to take parts and replace parts of your Hellboy. Everyone's pleather pants are falling apart on that bloody Hellboy now. Everyone's. You know, some people were savvy enough to take care of theirs, but a lot of them are cracking and drying up and falling apart. So yeah, you can take bits from this guy swap them over and you'll be able to improve your Hot Toys Hellboy again. Blitzway Tyler, Fight Club, 99 again, great year for movies. This is a great figure, I love it. I haven't done much reposing with that guy. And then we've got the X-Files, Mulder and Scully. Again, look, the size difference is it's too much. There's a lack of height and size in Scully to match with Mulder here. His head is way too massive, or her head's way too small. And her head is definitely way too small because look at her next to Ripley. Look at it, tiny, and she's supposed to have slightly bigger, poofier hair. So weird. But yeah, Ripley, man. Hot Toys nailed it with this. Lovely looking figure. Big fan of this fig. Love it. And one day I might be able to pick up an alien for her. But at the moment, it's just me and you, Ripley. Just me and you. Okay, and then coming down, we have the Blitzway's Ghostbusters. So I'm starting to lose my voice now, I'm getting tired. It is hot in this room right now. It's the middle of summer here. And yeah, I haven't done any reposing of these guys, but yeah, still love them. Still so much detail in them. They are the definitive Ghostbuster figures to get. There are none better. Maybe one day somebody will come out with better, but for the moment, I still love them. Love that smile. Look at detail in his mouth. Hello. Look at that. Great figure. And then we've got One Punch Man, Saitama in his normal suit. Really pops on the shelf, that yellow, looks great. And then we've got his cyborg assistant. Oh God, it's gonna bug me now because I know his name, but my brain damage is playing up, so I've forgotten his name, which is a shame because I love the show. But yeah, I've forgotten who he is. And this Vader is the Sideshow Lords of the Sith figure. Still happy with this. I don't feel the need to upgrade to the Hot Toys version. Still love this figure to death. Yeah, more than happy with that. As a bargain, and I kept him. And then we got C-3PO here. Human cyborg relations. His eyes do light up. I still like this figure. I can't wait till Hot Toys drop more with die-cast. You know they will. And that day everyone will just go nuts, I think. But yeah, the Sideshow one is still really good. And then we've got this R2-D2. This is not Sideshow and this is not Hot Toys. This is just a sphere of R2-D2 that I weathered up myself. I put all colours and black in the panels, put some dirt and sand into the wheels, everything like that to make him look aged. Yeah, and I'm very happy with him. I think I don't need to spend all that money on a Hot Toys R2-D2 when I've got this guy, I think. But yeah, I'm more than happy with him. And while we're here, let's move over and have a look at the Blitzway Hunters. Love these figs. Come here, you. I've done some reviews on these on my channel recently. This is the guy that caused me all the pain and cost me a lot of my classic Mezcos, but I'm more than happy to have spent the money on him just because I'm really chuffed with how quality this figure is. It really does command attention on the shelf, especially with such an awesome stand. And to the point where I even bought a second one of the stand for maybe a custom kit bash or something. Maybe I'll make another hunter in the years to come or in the next few months or whatever. And yeah, I'm more than happy with this guy now. Took a while, and my story about that is in the video, so I won't bore you with it here. So just go back and watch the video if you want to know the ins and outs of that story. But yeah, this is Robocop, and she is amazing. She really does look top notch. So chuffed with this figure, and I can't wait for Dr. BB now, the third one in the collection. And she will go here, where this steampunk Red Sonja is. Buy it. It is tbleague, but also executive replicas. I don't know how or why they've got executive replicas logo on there. I don't know if it's like a range they do, or if it's actually a different company that use tbleague bodies and they just use the tbleague logo because they agreed to in order to get a deal for the bodies or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, Red Sonja, steampunk. So cool. And these are our original goggles here. And I swapped them over for these goggles here. when you look at her like that, do you not think she looks like one of the brides from Mad Max Fury Road? The one that likes the war boy. I've forgotten his name now, but yeah, it looks a little bit like her. It definitely reminds me of her. Yeah, and I've just added to her over time. I've given her this sort of really cool crossbow. This is actually from Van Helsing, that Pop Toys figure, I think it is, Monster Hunter. It's got like a sort of like a steam canister at the back there and things like that, air canister. It looks quite steampunky in a lot of ways. And I've also added this steampunk mask to the base, which looks really cool. It's just hanging there, I like it. I've given her like Blood Hunter blunderbuss and things like that, because this looks a little bit like, it's gothic but also a little bit steampunky as well. So it looks a little bit like a turn of the century sort of blunderbuss type gun. So yeah, I've put her on like an Iron Man base because I had to use a flight pole to try and secure her leg, because she just falls over whenever she fancies it. She's not going to stay on that base herself. It's just too much of an uneven ground. I don't know why they would have thought of making this the way they did without actually having any sort of thing to stabilise her on. But yeah, I've put her on the base, but then there's a base underneath with the flight pole just holding her leg there, just to keep her secure, because now she doesn't fall or anything, which is good. And then we've got one of my newest figures, the Imperial Guardian tbleague figure. Still love this, but she didn't come with the sword that they advertised in the promo pics, so I gave her Thor Ragnarok exclusive sword from the Thor figure. She just holds that now, which is, kind of works with the stallone design, I think. Okay, let's move over to the details. Let's open the door here so you don't get the reflection. Jack, and we have got the Assassin's Creed 4 figure there, and we have Captain of the Octopus, or Davy Jones as he's more well known. Still love that figure. Still one of the best third party, we'll call it, figures you've ever seen. Still one of my favourites in the collection. So glad I picked that up. People are still hunting this down now, because the Hot Toys one was rare as rocking horse poo. But yeah, this Edward Kenway figure, I love this. I would have been all in on the Assassin's Creed Damn Toys figures if it wasn't for the fact that I just, you know, I have to pick my battles. I can't spend all my money on everything and anything I want. I have to be sensible, and I can't buy everything I want because I'd want everything. So, you know, I have to be choosy anyway. The X06 Jack Sparrow, still one of the best Hot Toys on the market. I know they brought a newer version out, but for the time, even now, it's amazing. And then we've got Steampunk Jack Ripper with a Super Duck Steampunk Girl kit on the tbleague body with a Super Duck head sculpt. Still love this, and the diorama piece. Just, you can't really show this figure off without that piece. The whole thing needs to be together to work perfectly. Such a big fan of this, I love it. All the details in it. I did a review on my channel, go back and watch it. I put a lot of work into that one, just because I was really looking forward to this. So I put loads of work into the intro stuff and everything, just so I could add to the experience of unboxing and showing this guy off. And then we come down and we have the Comicave Hulkbuster, which turned out not to be official because Comicave had a falling out with the factory, and the factory went, sod it, we're still releasing it. So they released it, and then Comicave came out announcing that these were all knockoffs, even though they were, you know, made by them, they were produced by them. But because they had a falling out with the factory and wouldn't pay the factory, and the factory released them anyway to make money back, they tried to get them decanonized, shall we say. But yeah, it's still a great figure now. And I actually like the fact that it has a little story behind it as well. And we've got 3A Optimus Prime. Love that figure, it's amazing. And we've got 3A Bumblebee. Still one of my favorites in the collection. I just think they did a really great job with these. And then you can come down and we can see got a little transformery NPM Bumblebee. It's not the official NPM, it's the KO of the NPM. But yeah, I still love this. I did have the original NPM. I actually bought it, paid for it, but then I sold it on, and then I regretted it. And then this one came up on AliExpress, and it's maybe not as good, but yeah, good enough. So I bought him back. And yeah, I hate transforming them. There's so much of a pain in the ass to transform. They take forever, and you can forget half the stuff you remember from it. So I'm very cautious about transforming that guy. So the fact that I've got this Bumblebee here, just standing there looking cool in his transformed version, and then I've got him in a car version, just makes me smile. And we've got this little guy from, is it The Last Night? I don't know what he was from, but I just love the design of it. I think it's quite cute. And then they got, he turns into a little scooter, and he does actually transform. But yeah, I've just got him here. And I really like the sort of offset, sort of red, yellow and blue all together. It all sort of works into making the primary colours, and it looks really great on the shelf. So if we pull back, we can see them all together. And then down here we've got it's like a snow globe, but it's also Jack Skellington sort of diorama statue. And my wife got me years ago. We were first going out, and she still actually liked me because I hadn't married her yet. Then of course we've got above the detail, we've got some 1/4 scale Batman NECA figures, which are just, honestly, they're taking up too much space now. I might have to move them on at some point. It's just getting them shifted is a pain in the butt because they're so big, and they've got their boxes and everything, and I can't be asked to ship them. We've got some kit bashes here, Red Hood, Samurai Wolverine, kit bash together, and then we've got Fong Sai Yuk from part 2, and Fist of Legend Jet Li. Told you I was into my Kung Fu movies. And then moving up here, we've got the 1/4 scale NECA Ninja Turtles. They used to be on a lower shelf, but I had to move them up here. And then we come down and we can see we've got the official NECA Turtles there, mixed with the KO original Turtles. So these ones are official NECA. These ones are the really great ones actually. Even though they're KOs, they're probably some of the best KOs you can ever get. So if you can pick them up, I recommend you do, because they're really good. And then there's the coloured bandana versions behind them. Just there. Just because I just love the figures, and when they actually come out and they had made colour ones in KO version, I was like, I'll have those as well, please. There you go. Oh no, that was what the thing that fell down was. Raph, what are you doing, man, you drunken loser? Come on, son, sort yourself out. There you go, standing back up again. Although your size fallen down, so we'll have to sort you out a bit later. But these 1/4 scale NECA movie turtles, I got these when NECA had problems with the licensing. So they couldn't sell them overseas, so I had to buy every single one of these on eBay and get them shipped over from the NECA store. Yeah, it was worth it, because I got them like maybe a year and a half before most people were able to get them over here. But yeah, they finally finished the arguments with the licensing and are now able to sell internationally, which I'm really glad about, because now you can pick these up in a lot of the comic book stores and the online sites in the UK. So people should be able to pick them up, and the details on these are insane. It's like somebody shrunk the suits down to 1/4 scale and just, you can put them on your shelf. They're so movie accurate, it's crazy. The paint applications are just some of the best in figure form ever, full stop. And they really, because of the way they were designed, they really lend themselves well to the figure form. So yeah, if you get a chance to pick them up, they really are worth it. And then we got some Jack Skellingtons at the back there from Nightmare Before Christmas, which is one of my favourite Christmas movies ever. And we've got this DC Batman Catwoman Hush statue. Don't think I'm ever going to get rid of that. That stayed in the collection. I've got boxes of statues all boxed up away now, because this top shelf used to be where all my statues went. Used to have loads of video game statues and stuff, but they're all boxed away and put in cupboards, because I just don't have space for everything to be shown off. So these guys survived the cut, but that's about it, I think. And then we've got that HC Toys Thanos on a throne, and that's a throne I made. There's a video of that on the channel as well. And then we've got a Mark III Marvel Legends helmet and the Punisher War Machine Marvel Legends helmet, and they're on wall racks. They're sort of, let me try and turn around and get to them. Yeah, you can see they're sort of hung up on the wall there, and they look really cool. Okay, let's zoom out and see if we can get a better look at the whole top shelf. The shelf along here, and then this shelf here, and coming down. So yeah, that's pretty much all my movie figures. Okay, if that's all you're interested in, 1/6 scale, then I think we are done. The next stuff I'm going to show you is the smaller stuff. So if you're, you're only here for the 1/6 scale stuff, you can opt out of this video right now, because now I'm going to go over to the shelves behind the wall and we're going to show off my 1/12 scale stuff, my Marvel Legends stuff, my Mezcos, that kind of thing. Okay, here's the shelving behind the door, and we can see that we've got my animated Batmobile at the back there. Unfortunately, that's been relegated to the dark corner of the room just for the moment, just because I wanted to show off some other stuff for a little while, and then other things could get swapped over, and that maybe could come down into one of the lit shelves in a little while. You can see this is some of the stuff that I just don't have space for at the top, including ZD Toys Hulkbuster, which is even smaller than the ZD Toys Hulk there, so it's a bit of a letdown. But what really blows my mind is the paint app and the fact that it lights up. So yeah, it stayed in the collection just because I like how quirky it is. But yeah, that's the top shelf. And Harley Quinn, unfortunately, she took a swan dive off the shelf. She was with Batman, and when she swan dived off the shelf, she decided both her feet were going to fall off. So the Expressions Pack Harley Quinn, they're not cheap to get now, they're quite hard to get. But yeah, both her feet are falling off, so she might need to have her shoes glued on, or I might glue on the roller skates, which was a bit sad. But however, come down, we've got some stop motion heroes here. We've got the Necker Corpse Bride stuff, McFarlane. Oh, these are amazing. They absolutely nailed these. They're well worth it if you can pick them up. I just went all in and bought the whole range over time on eBay, and I'm so glad I did. Taskmaster's hiding up there for the moment because I was moving stuff around. I forgot you were up there actually, Taskmaster. You might need to go back down with Widow in a little while. But yeah, that's quite cool. I'm really looking forward to the film, although my sneaking suspicions is that Taskmaster will end up being a woman. Don't know why. If you look at the Hot Toys, a few people have pointed out, it looks like it will be a reveal that it's, I don't know, Rachel Weisz or someone like that, but I hope not. It'd just be so obvious now. It's just cliche. No. Just make him a new villain in the MCU, just somebody who's not been seen before, and just not one of her friends or someone, like big surprise revelation, because it won't be a surprise to us. At the back here are some of my Marvel Legends on the next shelf. All along there, Lady Sif and Valkyrie, and the new one from the Black Widow, which I haven't seen yet. Ant-Man from the first film. Luis, 2012 Endgame cap. We've got Red Skull, and we've got a Hydra Trooper. And then up the back here, we've also got Mandarin, Vision, and a comic book Widow. Is it Origins or something? I can't remember, Secret Origins or something like that, Widow. And then we've got the Ragnarok Mezco figures. I really wish they'd actually done a few more of these, but I can understand why they didn't. But yeah, they're not going anywhere they're not going anywhere anytime soon. I still like them despite Hulk's flaws. Hela, she's still cool. I might swap the head sculpt over and get her the head sculpt, just to make it a little bit different from the actual 1/6 scale version. We've got Bro Thor. I've got the Woo Toys Thor coming soon. Looking forward to getting that, do a review. And then we've got some Mezcos at the front here. The Wolverines that I have left in my collection. All of these are official. None of them are KOs. The KOs are on this shelf above the window. And yeah, Deadpool, Blade. I still like them. I still think they're great. I had to make a choice when it came to collecting, and I had to admit to myself that I can't have everything. So I had to shrink down my collection of Mezcos a little bit, just because I shouldn't be going all in on them. And honestly, I got fed up of the whole exclusives thing, going on their site. The site's not great. Just waiting. No, for me, nah. I got fed up with it. So in the end, if they come out at retail, sure, I might pick one or two up. But I'm not fighting to get all the exclusives, and you know, it disheartens you when you go on a website. You go there on time, and you know, you still can't get the damn things. So yeah, I'm out. But yeah, here is the Black Widow special edition of Marvel Legends with that stand, big clunky horrible base. We've also got a Punisher Marvel Legend there with the face paints. We've got She-Hulk. We've got in-game Hulk here with his grinning face. I do like that. It's got some personality to it. I think that's the Hunter. Oh, what's his name? From Spider-Man. Oh crap, I've forgotten his name. But yeah, he's from the Spider-Man Black and White 2-pack. Pick that one up. And yeah, there's Ronin. Looking cool as boss, running at someone anime style to mess them up. We've got an SHF Hulk at the back there, and we've got the Iron Patriot 2.0 from Endgame. And then we've just got a whole load of Marvel Legends at the front, including AIM Soldier. I still love this, still one of my favourites Marvel Legends ever. Then we've got Deadpool in his pants. We've got Venom Pool. We've got 85. Crossbones, still a really cool figure. Widow. The Hot Rod. We've also got Punisher, War Machine, Ant-Man with that smirking sculpt. Come on, man! I had to have that in the collection. Look at the shitty grin he's got. That's got to go in the collection. It's just no matter how bad that Hot Toys one is, I still appreciate it for just how bad it is. It's almost so bad it's good. And then we've got Wasp, and then we've got the new Ant-Man. We've got Yellow Jacket, we've got Ghost, we've got Rescue, Dark World Thor. I think that's Civil War Cap. Yeah, that's Civil War Cap. We've got Black Panther from, I think Black Panther actually, or Infinity War maybe. I can't remember where that was from. And we've got this, is it Jack-O-Lantern? Yeah, I love that. It's just really cool. I love all the translucency in the head and the flames. You know I like a pumpkin, so I was more than happy to pick him up. And I think I found him in a Disney store. It was really weird. I found him, yeah, I found him, and I found a Marvel Legends Venom. And both aren't easy to come by. But yeah, my local Disney store, I walked in, there was a few on the shelf, and I was like, oh blimey. So I picked them up, because I knew they were a bit of a pain in the butt to get. We got Cosmic Ghost Rider, and we've got Deadpool there on his little scooter. And then we've got normal Ghost Rider on his Hell Cycle that I repainted. And then we've got SHF, Ragnarok, Thor and Hulk. Just because I love Ragnarok so much. I bought loads of stuff. And I wondered if they were ever going to do a Hela. I don't think they did. And then we've got that Widow. We've got some Wolverines there in different guises, including Age of Apocalypse. Got one at the back here. He's actually from the Love Triangle. The head sculpt's from Love Triangle, but the body is actually from the original first appearance with Hulk. And then we've got Star Wars Black Mandarin with Baby Yoda. Hello, Baby Yoda. Yeah, chicken nuggies. And then we've got Gambit, Wolverine, Cyclops, and I actually forgotten their name. Bloody hell. My brain today, I'll tell you what, there's just so much going on. And I do tend to forget things sometimes. But yeah, it'll come back to me in a minute and I'll be like, oh, it's blah, blah, blah. You know, no, it's gone in my head for a moment. And I managed to fit all my Spider-Man over here, just in a big montage, running at something. And that's the latest one, the classic sort of animated Spider-Man from the 90s. SHF PS4 Spider-Man. Yeah, I like these. When a decent and an interesting enough looking Spider-Man comes out in Marvel Legends form, I tried to grab it. Weird thing was, I saw the PS4 Marvel Legends Spider-Man, and there was tons of them. I was in New York at the time. We went, I think it was a GameStop, and we were in there, and there was just stacks of them. And I kept saying to the wife, should I get one? Should I get one? And she was just like, oh, I don't care, Bill. So then I went, I'll pick it up when I get home. So I put it back on the shelf. I don't know what happened. I can't remember how I didn't get it, but I didn't get it. And then all of a sudden, it was like triple the price on eBay. And I was like, oh, god damn it, I should have picked one up. But it wasn't a great looking figure. That's probably why I didn't pick it up. It just didn't look like PS4 Spider-Man. It looked like a big chunky bulky Spider-Man with a white spider on the front. It didn't actually work well enough for me to go, yeah, I have to get that. That's exactly how he looked like in the actual game. And just quickly, here is the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes. I'm not a G.I. Joe fan, but I just fell in love with the design and the articulation of this figure. So when it came out, I was like, yeah, I want that. It just looks like a cool figure that I could put in loads of poses, and I could just sit there with it. And it's a bit like one of my favourites to sit there and pose with and move around. So yeah, I was glad when I think it was Hasbro started doing the G.I. Joe range, because I really like this Snake Eyes. It's just, for me, it's just a generic ninja, not actually someone from G.I. Joe, because I'm not really into the license. But then again, we've got this Mafex Wolverine. Despite its flaws, I still love it. It's still a great poser. Very chuffed to have that in the collection. Again, it's one of those ones that I just sit there and mess around with every so often. It just keeps my hands busy. So I'm not busy doing the devil's work. And then finally, this is on my Mezco DC characters. And I've got the remote control Justice League Batmobile. You know, the one with the ability with a camera in it and stuff. Yeah, I didn't pick this up when it first came out, but then Zavi was selling them at half price. And I was like, well, at about 100 quid, oh, it's absolutely, definitely something I want to get. It went from 250 to 100. So I was like, yep, have that, mate, no problem. It looks good enough and it's well worth 100. So yeah, when I got it, I didn't know where I was going to put it. You know, I was stuck with it for a while going, what am I going to do with it? So then I managed to clear this area off just behind the door and I put it on there. And then I wanted this armoured Batman sort of sitting in it. He didn't really fit, it was a bit tight. I didn't want to damage the figure, so I had him sort of posing like this coming out. And then the next one came along and I went, well, I'll put Batman to the side there. And then I put Joker hanging off the side there and I went, all right, I'm all in on this. So I just tried to fit all my DC characters on there as best I could. And yeah, this is them all over the Batmobile. Just they're all sort of moving in the right direction, the same direction, either going to attack someone or going to mess someone up. But yeah, even the Joker and Harley's gotten involved, and that's my newest ones. That's I think it's Supreme Knight they call it. I didn't bother doing a review on that. So many people were reviewing them, I didn't feel the need to. And then we got Harley, and both of them are on there. And if I pick any more up, I have to try and figure out other ways of getting them on this actual Batmobile somewhere. To the point where at one point I have a funny feeling by the end of this, you're not even going to know there's a Batmobile under there. But yeah, for the moment, they all look really cool and they really stand out in the collection. And then we've got my Nightmare Before Christmas head knockers at the back there. Unfortunately, they've been relegated to be ignored for a little while, I'm afraid, because they're right at the back and you can't really see them. But I don't have the room for everything to be displayed, you know, as much as I would like to. But again, I'm just grateful that I had the chance to display most of these at all. And that is it, I think. Oh no, hang on. Yeah, no, up here. I have put a shelf just up here above the windowsill. And yeah, I've just managed to put some of the crappy stuff that I don't want just up here. Well, I don't say crappy, but some of the stuff that I'm not playing with right now or using. So it's all been put up here out of the way. That's a KO Predator from Figma. That's the NECA Ed 209. That's not crap, that is actually really nice. I just didn't have room for him anywhere. And I've got a comicave shotgun. And then we've got the new 52 Batman and Catwoman. We've got some Mezcos up there. There's official head sculpts on there though, just to try and make them look a little better. Like putting a lipstick on a pig really. That's a KO Miles Morales Spider-Man, KO Deadpool, and then the rest are all official Rebel tech. Because I don't like the KO Rebel techs, I don't think they've worked it out properly yet and got all the kinks out of the KO Rebel techs. So I only buy the official ones so far. But yeah, that's exactly what I've got. Oh, and KO Deadpool as well. Oh, KO, sorry, Daredevil. And then down here is just a few random on the windowsill. Just a few random ones. I really like that Shang-Chi figure. He's great to pose. He's like my little replacement for Jackie Chan figures in the collection for the moment. And then we've got like a KO Mezco Punisher Spec Ops version. That's actually a KO Deadpool, but with an official head sculpt done because I had spare heads. And then we've got a, is that Marvel Legends? Yeah, that's the Marvel Legends Gamer Iron Man. I'm not a big fan of the suits and the Gamer, you know, it hasn't even come out yet, but the designs they've shown me so far, I'm not enamoured with them. But yeah, these were available, so I thought Iron Man looked quite cool, so I'll give that a go. Little remote control BB-8. I really like the way they engineered that Threezero. Actually works really well. And we've got a KO sort of customised Punisher here. I actually painted the skull on the top here. Put the is it Kai Labs harness on? Kai Labs, yeah, K-A-I. Kai Labs harness on. And then I've put the Supreme Knight Old Man Batman head on there, which looks okay. And then we've got the Mark 50, which came with the Iron Spider Marvel Legends. But I didn't know what to do with it, so it just sits there now. We've got the NECA 89 Batman figure. Again, I don't know if I've got space to show these off anymore, so this guy might end up out of the collection sometime soon. God damn, I'm knackered now. Honestly, that was quite testing. Just to top things off, I've got loads of little Nightmare Before Christmas snow globes that people bought me over the years. Everyone used to go to the Disney store in our town, so every Christmas I'd get about 2 or 3 of these snow globes. I do like them, they're really nice in the collection. But yeah, then we've got some other Nightmare Before Christmas stuff over here. It's just a few randoms. And then we've got the Playmates Ninja Turtles up the top here that I don't have space to show off with the other Ninja Turtles, so they stay up there. And just a few random odds and ends up the top. Okay, that is it. Look, it's been a long video. It's just been so much to talk about, or you know, so much to show. But that's it, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video. I don't plan on quitting YouTube anytime soon. I will still be doing my reviews. When I get a good idea in my head for other videos, I will do them. There's plenty of people out there that do YouTube now, so it's getting louder. You know, there's a lot of people to compete with. So I just try to, you know, I'm trying to be like Machine Head for the most part, where everybody goes up and down in the charts and things like that. And you know, but they just steered the course. They stayed on their own path. They made their own music. People knew what they were getting, and they didn't try to change things up too dramatically. So I'm just trying to stay the path, do my videos, share my collection, and when I get a good idea for a slightly different type of video, then I will do that video. But until then, I will always be doing reviews every so often, giving my opinion pieces, sharing the collection. And I've been on YouTube for quite a few years now, so hopefully, you know, I've built up my subscriber base. And if you're not a subscriber already, but you do watch my videos, if you could hit the subscribe button, that would be awesome, because, you know, the more subscribers you get, the more visible you get, which means the more people will watch your videos. And that's what it's all about, really, isn't it? It's just sharing and getting your stuff out there and having people watch your videos a bit more. Okay, guys, that's it now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. If you do me a favor now, if you can get the fuck out of my cave. I'm tired, man. I'm really tired. I'm going to try and go and edit this down a little bit because I've talked a load of shit. But I hope you enjoyed the video. See you later, guys. Bye bye.